Okay, so I realized, like, a lot of the times that I make recordings, I just sound really sad.
No.
No.
I'm telling him no.
Get this here, no. Our district leader just asked for our numbers and we're saying no because we're busy.
Qué mal educado.
Pero en serio, we want to talk about just some of the funny moments we've had here. I don't know, they might be stupid. Sometimes when you're a missionary, you find things really funny that aren't that funny because you're just trying to find joy in something.
Es cierto.
So I've talked about this a lot, but we get catcalled a lot here, and sometimes it's just so funny, but you're not supposed to laugh because
Can't give them the satisfaction that they know that you saw them, and they're just gonna keep doing it more. It's not worth it.
But yeah, so a lot of times people like just yell out of their cars like, "Mi amor, bebe."
We were walking down the street one time, and we were on our way home, and it was later, like at night, and we're like walking, and there's like these 4 like teenage boys on their bikes, and then here in Paraguay everyone does wheelies. I don't know why, they think it's cool, but all of a sudden this boy just gets up on his bike on a wheelie, and he's like, mis amores.
He was probably like 14. He was a child.
But that's how the Paraguayos get to us, in serio. They're the coolest people ever on their wheelies.
I like nothing more than a good wheelie.
From a Paraguayo.
Oh, so I tried to think of the hardest we laughed this week. I was like, one day we were laughing so hard, I remember, but then I remembered it wasn't anything that happened here. We were just remembering Drake and Josh. We were commemorating our favorite TV show, in particular Crazy Steve.
Crazy Steve. Especially the part when he's like watching Dora, like at Drake and Josh's house at that party, and he just goes and he's just like, Dora asks him a question. He goes, "You're the one with the map. Don't ask me." Oh,
what's that part where he like yells at somebody in like the movie
in the movie theater? He's like talking to Drake or something, and this lady asks him a question, like he's working, like she needed something, and he turns around and he's like, "I'm talking." Oh my god.
Yikes. Also, so my last email was dedicated entirely to Enzo and the funny things he says, but I forgot a few things, including just one time I was trying to teach him about prayer. I actually might have said this, I don't remember. This time I was trying to teach him about prayer, and I was like, when we pray, we can ask God for things we want. And I was like, Bulba, why did I say that? Because he's a child, you know, like, we can ask God for things we want. And then I was like, what do you want to ask from God? And he was like, una bicicleta. And we were like, and then Hermana Dewitt's like, well, maybe you could ask God to help you make enough money to buy a bike, or something like that.
He's basically referring to Santa, pobrecito. But another time, he was like sitting there, and we're like in the middle of this lesson, a lesson 2, and he was just thinking. He's like, it was like quiet for a second, and he goes, "Do you guys believe in Santa?" I'm like, yes, Enzo, of course. And he's like, he's not real. My mom told me.
His mom would tell him that.
Poor Enzo was so just like, you guys believe in Santa?
He believes anything we say too. One time, Hermana Dewitt was like...
I told them that I lived in... Like, my house was in Africa, and then I had a pet lion that was really big. And I'm like, yeah, like, I really miss my lion. Like, he gets really lonely. And Enzo's like, en serio? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to show you a picture next week. And he was just so, like, unbelievable. He was just like, whoa, en serio?
Also, Enzo has an older brother who's, how old is Alexander?
11.
11. And this kid, I kid you not, he's literally cooler than us and all of you. This kid is the coolest person you'll ever meet in your whole life.
Just like, it's just an honor just to like sit there and like play a game with him or like talk to him. Like, he's so cool. He is so cool.
He's like already a professional soccer player. Like, you could just tell, like, he has this air about him, but like he doesn't let it get to his head. Like, he's nice. Like, he's a nice person, but like whenever he talks to us, we're like, well, that was really cool. That kid's really cool. We love being accepted by cool 11-year-olds.
Yeah, we're trying to work our way into his club here soon, so we're almost there.
Cussy. Eric.
So Eric is there's this family of 4 boys, and Eric's the youngest one. He's just like this little like morochito gordito, and he is so funny, and he just asks us really weird questions. Like, he'll sit in sacrament meeting and he'll sit by us and he'll be like, Hermanas, do you like my house? Do you like coming over? This one time he asked me, he was like, Hermana, do you want a family one day? He's like, Hermana, do you want to get married? Like, just random stuff. It's super weird.
He does really weird things sometimes. Also, he's a miniature Paul Blart Mall Cop. He literally, we don't remember what it's called. He literally has one of those like wheelie things that like Paul Blart uses all the time. One time he was riding around on it outside, like close to our house, and everyone was staring at him because it's like super choochy, like super fancy, like because this family has a lot of money, and so people aren't used to like seeing like fancy things like that. He's just riding around and he biffs it like super hard.
It was awesome.
And that kid's dope though. He puts me in a good mood every time. So we've started teaching English to the Hovenists, and it is the funnest thing I've ever done my whole life. Because they don't actually like care like that hard to learn English, which if they did it would be really stressful because English is impossible to teach, but they're just picking up like random words and phrases. Por ejemplo, like Santi was like walking and it was really, really cold outside. And he asked me like, how do you say frio? And I was like, cold. So his name is Santiago. And so we told him like his name in English is James. And he just goes, James Cold. They all say random things like that. And there's this really cute little girl. Her name is Anaí. She's like 10. And she came up to me and she gave me a hug and she goes, I love you, best friend. So freaking cute.
We have a joke with Camila. She's like 14 or something like that, and we always told her to tell the elders that they're creepy or awkward, and so we tell them like, you are creepy, you are awkward.
She'll just like walk up to her district leader, to the elder bush, and she'll just be like, you are awkward, and then she'll walk away, and the poor guy's just like, what am I doing wrong?
But we'll see each other down the street and she'll just start yelling, you are creepy. It is awesome.
They love it, and it's freaking funny. I think it's fun to have 2 American missionaries because they all like got interested in trying to learn English and stuff. It's really fun.
French Edward and Steven. So, as a companionship of two American hermanas, like, you kind of get more attention, no sé. Like, there's these 2 jóvenes that, like, it was just super awkward. We were sitting there teaching English, and one of these kids just, like, tells me that the other kid's, like, looking for the green card. And I was like, okay. And so,
looking
like,
for the green card, no mas.
So he keeps, like, walking around, like, the rest of the night. Like, we're Noche de Barrio. And he just keeps walking around. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go get the green one because that's his favorite color. And he was directing all the jokes to us. Like, haha, get it? Because it's green card. So dumb.
Yeah, that was super awkward. There's also, like, these 3, like, really little boys. They were, like, 9, 10, I don't even know. But we were talking to them and like just asking their names and stuff. And then this kid just goes, I'm going to choose which one of you has the prettier face. And it was super, super awkward. We're like, okay.
We tried to like change the subject and he like brought it back to that. It was really awkward. Really awkward.
Super, super awkward. And then we were like, now we're going to choose the prettiest of you three. And they were all like, what? Don't do that. Ramona Dewitt, I think for our last thing, you should talk about the baptism.
Oh my gosh. Aww. And so we had a baptism, obviously of Enzo. But in the barrio también, there's these two little girls, Elo and Wanda. Wanda's like my best friend. She's like mi mejor amiga. And so Elo, like, is her same age. Like, they're best friends. So Elo slowly started to, like, you know, talk to the missionaries, talk to us, and, like, you know, befriend us. And so at this baptism, Elo and Wanda are, like, playing with us and our, like, our stuff or whatever. And I get up and I'm sitting down, like, squatting nomás. And Elo comes and sits on my lap, and then Wanda comes over, and they're just, like, fighting. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to stand up, and, like, I'm gonna go lead the music. And so they both kind of get upset because they're, like, pushing each other, like, no, I want to sit here. No, I want to sit here. And so I get up, and I go to lead. And Elo comes and hugs my leg. And then Wanda comes over, and she starts pushing Elo. And they both start fighting in the middle of this baptism. And so we're sitting here trying to sing the last hymn, and everyone's just, like, really awkwardly, like, what's going on? And then eventually somebody starts crying, and the other one starts crying. So Wanda and Elo just both start crying, like, super hard. And so their parents come and get them, and they're just both just so mad at each other. And, like, they just wanted to be by me, but I felt so awkward. And poor Armando Thomas.
Well, and everyone's like, girls, there's another hermana. Like, go sit by the other hermana. But I was like, guys, you don't understand. I was like, they don't want me. They want the other one. But they all, like, felt so bad for me. They're like, none of the little girls want Hermana Thomas. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so awkward.
It was just sad and awkward and really embarrassing.
I was just laughing. Like, I really didn't care. But everyone else is so worried about me and my self-esteem because 4-year-old girls wouldn't love me. But yeah, so maybe these stories are only funny to us, but igual nomás, you're our family and friends. You have to listen to us ramble.
Ahí está.
But love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.